Tired of the chaos, the noise, and the pressure to always be on? You're not alone, and you're not powerless. Here, we break down ancient Stoic wisdom for the modern world so you can master your mind, find calm in the storm, and live with real purpose. Marcus Aurelius did it in a war-torn empire. You can do it in a wired-up world. Subscribe and start living like a Stoic. The emperor who knew too much. Imagine standing at the head of the world's greatest empire, commanding armies, navigating treacherous politics, and dealing with plagues and revolts. And yet, in the quiet of night, you scribble thoughts to yourself, not for power or legacy, but to stay grounded, to remind yourself, you are just a man. That man was Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, and author of the Timeless Meditations, a collection of personal philosophical notes never intended for publication. These writings, raw and honest, have echoed through the centuries, not as orders from a ruler, but as whispers from a fellow traveler trying to stay sane in a chaotic world. Why do we keep reading him? Because Marcus didn't write about conquering nations. He wrote about conquering the self. And in doing so, he left behind a blueprint for anyone trying to survive the storms of life with dignity, grace, and courage. In a world obsessed with image, speed, and control, Marcus's message is lightning in a bottle. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Chapter 1. Stoicism in the Fire. Marcus didn't live a philosopher's dream of calm reflection and perfect conditions. He ruled during wars, plagues, betrayals, and personal tragedy. His reign was anything but easy. But that's exactly why his ideas carry weight, because they were battle-tested. He was not writing to impress. He was writing to endure. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. That's not pessimism. It's perspective. The Stoics saw mortality not as a curse, but as a motivator. Every day was a gift to be used well. Every setback, a training ground for character. Marcus reminded himself, and now reminds us, that pain, loss, and uncertainty aren't enemies. They're part of the human experience. You can resist them and suffer, or accept them and grow. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Let that sink in. The cause of your suffering isn't the world. It's your interpretation of it. Control your mind, and you control your life. Chapter 2. The Mantra of the Mindful Warrior. At the core of Stoicism is a radical idea. You are not your circumstances. You are your response to them. Marcus Aurelius lived this mantra. He didn't believe in being passive. He believed in acting with reason and virtue, no matter how others behaved. When insulted, he stayed calm. When wronged, he forgave. When tempted, he reminded himself of what really mattered. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. He warned against chasing pleasure or avoiding pain as guiding lights. Those were unstable compasses. Instead, he urged constant self-reflection, integrity, and inner discipline. His daily goal? Not to be perfect, but to be present and aligned with nature and reason. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. These aren't lofty ideals. They're ground-level instructions for being fully human in the face of adversity. Chapter 3. Stoicism and the modern world. So how does a second-century emperor help us in the 21st century, an age of social media, burnout, consumerism, and digital overload? More than you think. 1. Social media and comparison. We're constantly flooded with highlight reels, filtered perfection, and metrics that reduce self-worth to likes and followers. Marcus would remind us, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." He would advise us to stop chasing external validation and start nurturing our inner compass. 2. Anxiety and control. We suffer today not just from stress, but from the illusion that we can and must control everything. The Stoic mindset flips that. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This doesn't mean apathy. It means focusing your energy on what you can control, your choices, your values, your perspective. 3. Busyness and burnout. In an always-on world, Marcus would probably raise an eyebrow. He saw distraction as one of the greatest threats to a meaningful life. If you seek tranquility, do less, or more accurately, do what's essential, and stop there. Imagine applying that at work, in relationships, in how you spend your weekends. Do less, but do it with purpose. 4. Crisis and loss. When pandemics hit or loved ones pass or plans fall apart, we often crumble. But Marcus was forged in such fires. His wisdom? It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. The Stoic doesn't deny pain. He sees it as a teacher. Every crisis is a test of character and a chance to grow. 5. Leadership and ego. In a culture driven by ego and competition, Marcus was a servant leader. His humility was not weakness, but strength. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. We could all use that mindset, whether we're CEOs or students. The outcome, still right after all these years. Was Marcus Aurelius perfect? Number, he was human. He made mistakes, endured heartbreak, and wrestled with his own flaws. But through it all, he sought truth, not comfort, and that's why his words endure, because they are not dogma. They are reminders, anchors, tools for the soul. He was right, not about science or politics or economics, but about what really matters. That virtue is the only true good. That pain and death are not the enemy. Cowardice and vice are. That calm, disciplined minds can change the world, starting with their own. In the end, Marcus Aurelius was not trying to be a hero. He was trying to be good. And in a world that still glorifies fame over virtue, distraction over reflection, and image over substance, his quiet revolution speaks louder than ever. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Live not as though you had 1,000 years ahead of you. Fate is at your elbow. Make yourself good while life and power are still yours. The emperor is long gone, but his wisdom remains, and if you listen closely, it might just save your life, or at least your sanity. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us on the path to wisdom. This is Modern Stoic, where ancient philosophy meets modern life.